Hi. Now, you are all aware that there is a raging war between Russia and Ukraine on the issues which they need to amicably resolve amongst themselves, between themselves. And I'm not going to touch upon any political analysis on or the cause of this war and all. What I would like to cover in this video is what is the impact of this war on India, especially on the economic front. Let's keep aside our stand on either to support Russia or to support Ukraine aside. Those points we are not going to cover. That is purely on political angle. What will be the impact of this war on India on economy? Will our fuel prices, especially petrol and diesel prices, will it go up? Will that have any impact on LPG gas cylinders which get supplied in our homes? What is the impact on these main parameter? And then because of the export-import imbalance or deviations, will there be increase in inflation? Will there be decrease in gross domestic product, this is GDP? What is the impact on trade, manufacturing, banking sector especially? So these are the topics I thought I will touch upon, the impact of this war. Mainly, we are the net oil importers from the Russia. There is you must be aware India and Russia have always have very friendlier ties on economic front from time immemorial. So there is an elevated uncertainty. We are not sure whether this war will come to an end and we will have a free supply of crude oil from Russia. Risk of weaker global demand. So what is in store for retail investors? So we are like common man. Retail investor is common man. Every 10% rise in the oil price will like crude oil which we are getting from them will have increase of 0.2% in GDP, in the growth. So inflation projection rises in tandem, like that also goes along with that. So it is predicted like 0.3 to 0.4% inflation for every 100 BPS, like basic points. So every basic point is 100 BPS, meaning is 1%. So every 1% increase gives 0.3 to 0.4% inflation. Inflation, what is inflation? The cost of, the price you pay for the commodity you buy increases, meaning the rupee value comes down. So that is the meaning of inflation, effect of inflation rather. So if oil reaches $105 a barrel, it is 21% in the past 1 month alone. The growth, the crude oil price has just moved close to 21% increase in the last 1 month alone. Oil price remains unchanged since November. We are paying the same price, maybe because of the populist measure because of the state elections in these 5 states. The rates may go up by 10% by end of March on petrol and fuel prices. On LPG gas cylinder, that increase may slightly be higher than the petrol and fuel. Petrol and diesel. So Finance Minister also raised concern on the effects of financial implications, economic implication because of this raging war between Russia and Ukraine. And no country has ever felt the impact after the World War II to this extent. So even Indian Oil Corporation is not accepting the oil on the FOB basis. There are various terms and conditions, Infoterms they call, according to the International Chamber of Commerce. So free on board, that's how the oil is being imported in India. The insurance cost has gone up because of uncertainty, and hence IOC has stopped importing crude oil from Russia for time being. So what is the impact on trade on this? India runs a trade deficit with Russia, meaning what? The import will be more than the exports. So the demand is very less because of that. So, but our import requirement, internal consumption requirement is more, and hence import is continuing, but export is declining. So 2.8% of our total imports are from Russia in the financial year 2022. Mainly electrical machinery is our major export to Russia. Russia is our 25th trade partner. Even though there is no major chunk, it's in the top, even though it's not top 25th trade partner, it will have its own impact because exports are, coming down mainly on the electrical machinery side. What is the impact on banking? So we have seen the impact on oil, on LPG, and then impact on trade. Now, what is the impact on the banking side? Banking remained not major, disturbance because of this Russia-Ukraine war. Profitability of all the banks has increased. Asset quality of the banks went up. What do we mean by asset quality? The identification of the industry for lending purpose and the net end use of the money lent by the banks, by those companies in production. So the quality of the asset has gone up. Then capital adequacy ratio, which is on the Basel recommendation, so that again remain high. So capital adequacy has increased. Adequate liquidity ratio, adequate liquidity is available. 7 lakh crore liquid cash is available in the system for circulation. Then close to 2.8 lakh crore of cash is being circulated in India. So corporates also, through public issues, raised to close to 1.89 lakh crore from the public for the asset creations. So banking sector is very robust despite all the disturbances abroad. So what is the impact on GDP? With limitations on trade, banking and corporate sector, the report expects negligible impact of the Russia-Ukraine conflict on Indian economy. So we don't expect much of impact, but for that crude oil, that again can be compensated from other countries. The total percentage itself is 2.8, so that is not having much impact on India because of this Russia-Ukraine war. Economy seems poised to enter a high growth rate from 9.2% in this financial year compared to 6.6% in the financial year 2021. So there is inflation is also has come down. It is low, meaning our rupee value, purchasing power of the rupee has gone up. So it is now predicted at 4.5% in the financial year 23 versus 5.3% in the financial year 22. So from 5.3 to 4.5 it will come down. When inflation comes down, the purchasing power of the rupee increases. So overall, see, even though there is a disturbance abroad, we have seen students coming back to India thanks to the government's central government's effort of bringing the students back to India. These students now need to be accommodated in the required colleges depending on their merits. The question of whether they need to appear for NEET and all, the decision will be taken by the government. So we have touched upon the oil impact of oil on the economy, oil prices, what will be the impact on petrol and diesel and LPG cylinders. So the impact of importing the oil through Indian Oil Corporation, then trade deficits, trade requirements, and also on impact on banking sectors, and also on GDP. So the major impact will be very less as far as this war is concerned on India, because India has a robust system of taking care of itself with its internal productivity and consumption. Thank you very much for patiently watching. We'll catch up on the next video with more updates. share and then like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.